Now let's talk about a dictionary of similar objects. You can also use the dictionary to store one kind of information about many objects. For example, say you want to poll a number of people and ask them what their favorite programming language is, or what their favorite player is, or what their favorite book is, what their favorite author is, and what their favorite country is. So let's ask people about their favorite languages. And then you will have to, let me just add name Khan, and let's say that Khan says that his favorite language is Python, and then we have Sarah, and Sarah says that her favorite language is, let's say, C. And let's not Edward, and Edward says that his favorite language is this. And let's talk about Akbar, and Akbar says that his favorite language is Python. Okay, don't forget the comma, and don't forget to use the braces here. Now as you can see, we have broken a larger dictionary into several lines. Each key is the name of a person who responded to the poll, and each value is their language choice. When you know you will need more than one line to define a dictionary, press enter after the opening brace, then indent the next line one level, 4 spaces, and write the first key value pair, followed by a comma. From this point forward, when you press enter, your text editor should automatically indent all subsequent key value pairs to match the first key value pair. Once you have finished defining the dictionary, add a closing brace on a new line after the last key value pair and indent it one level so it aligns with the keys in the dictionary. It is good practice to include a comma after the last key value pair as well, so you are ready to add a new key value pair on the next line. Now let me just add, let's say that language, let's define a variable, and favorite languages. Now let's talk about Sarah. And Sarah, if I want to represent it as title, I could also add it. Now let me add the comment friend f quotes Sarah's favorite language is, and then just call the variable language. Okay, now if I run it, I could see that Sarah's favorite language is C. Now if I replace Khan here, you can pick any name, and you can see that Khan's favorite language is Python, so here Python is displayed. Now if I call Edward, then Edward, his name will be, his or her favorite language will be displayed. You could see that Edward's favorite language is this, so it is displayed here. And we also included title, so you could change the comments accordingly. Okay, if you're talking about Khan, then add Khan here. If you're talking about Akbar, then add Akbar here, and deal with it accordingly. Now let's talk about get. using get to access values. Using keys and square brackets to retrieve the value when you are interested in form a dictionary might cause one potential problem. If the key you asked for doesn't exist, you will get an error. Let's see what happens when you ask for the point value of an alien that doesn't have a point value set. Now let's talk about, let me erase it. Let's talk about alien. Okay, you can choose any variable you want to, but since we have used it many times, so I'm using it. And let's choose the color B, let's say green. And let's talk about speed. Let's say the speed is medium or slow. Now if I print it, print alien points. Now if I run it, you could see that I get an error. This results in a traceback showing a key error. You'll learn more about how to handle errors like this in general in next videos. For a dictionary specifically, you can use the get method to set a default value that will be returned if the requested key doesn't exist. Points don't exist here, okay, so it couldn't be called. The get method requires a key as a first argument. As a second optional argument, you can pass the value to be returned if the key doesn't exist. Now let me just use the get. Okay, so I could add the point, let's say the point value, and alien 0. Then you use here get, don't forget to put the brackets and the points, and no point value assigned. Now let me just print it. Let me print point value. You could see that no point value assigned. So the key points, if we assign value here, that will be displayed. If the key points exist in the dictionary, you will get the corresponding value. If it doesn't, you will get the default value. In this case, points doesn't exist and we get a clean message instead of an error. If there is a chance the key you are asking for might not exist, consider using the get method instead of the square bracket notation. If you leave out the second argument in the call to get and the key doesn't exist, Python will return the value none. The special value none means no value exists. This is not an error, it is a special value meant to indicate the absence of a value. We will learn about it in the upcoming videos. Now let's say that if I add the points value here, let's say the points, and I just assign value 5 to it, and if I run it, you could see that I get the value 5. Okay, now try it yourself. Use a dictionary to store information about a person you know. Store their first name, last name, age, and the city in which they live. You should have keys such as first name, last name, age, and city. Print each piece of information stored in your dictionary. Do it and share the course in the comments and let me see how you did it, and then I will pass my comments on your output. So do try and give me the output.